Ancient Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew. We have our usual suspects of AD or Alpha Dean. We have Spigs18 or Anthony. And, Dean, what are we doing here today?
Today is a special day in the land of Cypher Unlimited. You know, we're going to actually play a game run by none other than our very own Al, Ancient Albatross, the man of the hour with all the power. This is a guy who sells himself short all the time, but you know what? Brilliant behind the screen. I'm going to enjoy it. So today is going to be Al's Homebrewed Hijinx. And that's what we're calling it, but, we'll get into it. Ant, you got to say anything about what's going on tonight?
No, I'm just excited that we finally got Al on camera running the game,
Oh, boy.
so everybody can see that he does run fun games like we've been saying for forever. So I'm excited for this. I'm getting ready to get Vlad Talos out there.
Yeah, thank you guys for the kind words. What you call it? So yeah, we're here with a little like what I like to call Al's home game hijinks, like Dina said. We're just gonna be playing the game like as if it was at home. Today the game is called Mushroom Madness. We're playing a variation of Numenera that's inspired by Degenesis, which is a very great game by SIXMOREVODKA, the studio that puts that out. Fantastic art, fantastic system. I haven't actually played it yet, but reading it has been really nice, which has inspired me to do this. It'll loosely be based off flat lore, mixed with elements of Numenera, but we'll be playing on the Numenera system. And yeah, it's basically a post-apocalyptic world where, there was a great catastrophe. Comets rained down on the Earth and basically wiped out civilization as, they knew it. It was a very advanced civilization by that point. Several hundred years later, humanity is now coming back from the brink of that disaster. There are still remnants of that past civilization, very akin to Numenera, where there's advanced ruins where the players could potentially find things or whatever have you. Another huge aspect of the setting or world is that along with all the radiation and whatever have you from the meteor strikes, there was also this sort of spore or fungus that spread across the land, and a large section of the world is actually controlled by this fungus, and it's uninhabitable, and going in there means certain death and blah blah blah. Not certain death, I should say. You basically become one with the spore. It takes over your mind, and you're basically compelled to protect it, live near it, so on and so forth. In this adventure, we'll be having our players, Deo and Vlad Talo, set out forth by their clan to figure out something about a big suspected spore source, to basically learn more about it and maybe how to stop spore progress or whatever have you. Just real quick before we go into character introductions, I will be using a couple of homebrew rules for scavenging, crafting, and also the spore infestation. It's all inspired by Degenesis, just to try to get that Degenesis feel within Numenera. So yeah, gentlemen, let's hear about your characters. Let's start with Dean. Tell us about Deo.
Well, Deo is a prepared Neo-Libyan delve who walks the wastelands. Standing approximately 5'10", 5'11", built solidly like kind of like an anvil, weighs in around 200 pounds. He's got weathered lines on his face, because he spends a lot of time walking the wastelands and just trying to discover, Numenera and things about this, and bringing back samples of the spores and stuff like that. He wears, his face is normally wrapped, typical headband with the goggles and everything, and that's Deo.
What's your character sentence?
Deo is a prepared Neo-Libyan
Oh, well, you said that, didn't you?
who walks the wastelands.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for repeating that for me. Anthony, what about Vlad Talos?
All right, Vlad Talos. He's a graceful Spitalian glaive who plays a deadly instrument. I'm excited to play this. His instrument is a harmonica that has blades wrapped around it, and he gets to swing it and throw it like a ninja star, but it comes back to his hand. So that sounds pretty cool. He's 6'1", athletically built, kind of slender. He wears what would be the equivalent of a cowboy's duster with a cowboy hat that covers, his loose, long, free flowing blonde hair. And he likes to play his harmonica whenever he gets a chance, and he kind of thinks that he's a ladies' man when he gets the chance. So it should be interesting to see how he plays out.
All right, I dig it. So yeah, you guys have been sent out by your clan. What's your clan's name? Come up with it, you guys. Well, what is your clan?
Oh yeah, we'll call it, we're the Rasta Tongues.
The Rasta Tongues.
All right, I like it, the Rasta Tongues. So basically, a clan is just a group of people, or basically a small community. They might be from different cults or different regions or whatever have you, but they might have a common goal. In this case, the Rasta Tongues are trying to learn more about the spore, maybe vanquishing major sources of spore clouds or whatever have you. In this case, you guys have been sent out by a clan leader who's basically just wanting to learn more about a rumored source that's way up north from where you guys normally are, from your clan base. After about 5 days or so of traveling, you guys are now running low on scraps for your equipments and for your items and so on and so forth. So we begin this session with you guys having already traveled about 5 days, and you're about to just look around for some scrap to replenish what you've used so far. So, once per day, you guys can look around for some low quality scrap, or iodum, as it were, because we're doing Numenera. So to find some low quality iodum, just do me a favor. We're not gonna bother with seeing if you find it. You guys already found it. But just both of you roll me 2d6s, and that's how much low quality iodum you find. And while you guys are scrounging around, you can discuss your plans a little bit. Actually, I will detail some stuff for you that's important.
Do we add the total of the 2 6s?
Correct.
D6s?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's how many kilograms of low quality iodum you found.
So
Both of us roll, or just one of us?
Both of you.
I got a 7.
Guys,
I got 9.
So you have that. Both have that much low quality iodum now. Let me write that down myself too. 9. So while you guys are digging around through some debris nearby the path you've been taking, looking for some low quality iodum, you guys are discussing the information that was given to you by the head clansman, or that's a really poor phrasing, the head clan leader. And also, what's their name? The person who sent you out.
Phineas.
All right, Phineas, I dig it. So Phineas sent you out. He's the clan leader, and he sent you out with a couple of tips, or bits of information. One is that about 5 days travel, which so soon for you guys, you will be approaching a small facility that has been scouted out by one of the clan scouts. There's rumored to be some high quality tech for you to scavenge through in there. There's also rumors of a group of psychonauts in there that are protecting a spore source. Psychonauts are essentially the people I mentioned earlier who get basically taken over by the spores in the general region and live with them, try to protect them, blah blah blah. You don't really know who or what the psychonauts are like in this facility, but you do know that they are guarding or inside this small facility that's probably maybe 6 hours from where you are now. The place you're heading to ultimately is a rather large facility, very far north. Again, it's about 5 more days from where you are now.
My question, real quick, because we didn't go over it before. So when we encounter spore sources, do we want to destroy them?
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes there'll be like little things that'll like you have basically traps. Like you'll step on them and they'll blow up in your face. Like they're like a substantial spore source, and that quote unquote would be a source. But some of these locations do have like a heart, so to speak. But these sort of like brood hives, so to speak, would be in a much larger facility. You're not expecting that in the first place you're gonna see, but possibly in the next one or the the ultimate goal place.
But
Um,
our goal would be to get rid of them.
us if it's too dangerous, I mean you can get rid of it. It's more to learn about what's actually there as per your excuse me, as per Phineas's request. But if you find yourself in a position to exterminate said infestation, yes. Um, but what you call it? Again, that's about 5 days away from where you are now. You guys just wrapped up scrounging around for some low quality stuff. Iodum, and yeah, you guys are about 5 to 6 hours away from the location of that first um, what you call it, little ruin. And it was mentioned to you by Phineas as a way to potentially scavenge some high quality stuff to prepare you for getting to the ultimate, the major rumored source.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you guys whether you want to actually stop there or not. If you want to proceed without trying to do that, it's up to you. But yeah, though that is as it is right now.
I think that Vlad will be what's it what character's name again, Dean?
Dio.
Vlad will be falling behind Dio's lead, and he's literally not only is he falling behind his lead, he's one step behind him, playing his harmonica. He's playing in a travel tune. With he has his duster with the sleeve collared up, his hat tucked as far low as it could possibly go, and he has a bandana with in markings that have the clan logo on it, and he's just playing behind Theo and allowing Theo to take the lead and initiative.
I dig it. And essentially, yeah, you guys have been given a rough map of the area. It's up to you who's holding. I'm assuming Dio at this point, based on Vlad's description of what he's doing. But the map is just again super vague because the world is again, it's catastrophic. This was mostly ruinous, and a lot of the topography and such has changed due to the major catastrophe that befell the world. So old maps are basically useless. Old world maps, I should say, bygone specifically is what the people refer to the pre catastrophic civilization as now the bygone civilization. So you guys, those maps are basically worthless at this point, and you guys do have a rough map of the general area to where you need to go, but major features have not been plotted out as scouts have not gone out that far yet.
Um,
I assume we have basic equipment like water canteens.
Correct.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that.
have all the necessary like rations, water canteen, stuff to keep you alive. In my home games, and especially for one shots, I don't like doing bookkeeping. Just saying that out loud for our viewers. So things that make sense for your character to have on you, you'll have on you. So like rope, some water skin, some food. Little things like that you'll just have on matches, like things of that nature.
well, part of my equipment is I have an explorer's pack, and my tools because I'm a delver. I'm always scavenging anyway. But one of my abilities is navigation.
Okay.
So could I say that in part maybe I'm slightly versed with the map making. So what I'm doing is just updating the map as we move along, just so it's a little bit more detailed.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You can definitely say that you're keeping a detailed track of the map so that when the map is used later, like maybe you give it back to Phineas, or maybe another exploring band, they'll be able to use it to more accurately explore the area. Or maybe for you guys when you're coming back or whatever have you.
So I'd like to make basically intellect roll navigation just to see if I notice any important landmarks or anything that needs to be added to the map?
All right. So as you're approaching, because the area with the little ruin is already marked on the map. That was pretty accurately marked because a scout scouted it out previously. But give me that navigation roll, please, or whatever you navigation, perception, whatever have you. And yeah, tell me what you get.
I rolled a 12. So difficulty 4, I succeeded against.
And do you have any skills or whatever have you that reduce it, or
Well,
increase it?
my navigation skill, I'm trained in that.
For sure. So
I also
difficulty
have
5.
perception. I also
Yep.
have perception.
I'll allow that as well. So difficulty 6 to be. So, as you guys are proceeding, with Vlad playing his harmonica, whatever, however you want to make a harmonica noise. As you are starting to approach the general area, you're not actually unless you want to be actively walking towards that first ruin, the mini ruin. As you start walking towards your destination, because they're both in generally the same direction. In the horizon, you start to see something a little unusual. It looks like a pretty wide, and it's kind of small for you to. Well, excuse me. We'll say with your navigation, you have maybe to flavor, you have binoculars or something.
Yeah.
So
I could.
you're getting a vague sense, or not a vague sense. You're seeing the outlines of it looks very strange to you. It looks almost like people walking around and carts that are stationary, maybe small huts, but it's all very small because it's so far away. But it basically, because I haven't heard anything of any towns or settlements in the area, but it kind of looks like that from a distance.
Okay. So what I want to do is, basically my goggles are, everything is in the tech is in my goggles. Okay. And I reach down and I pull out another piece and clip it on there, and you try to get a zoom in on it, see if I can discern any features or anything like that.
All right, give me another D20 roll. And Vlad, what are you doing while he's looking around?
And I'll actually expend a level of effort.
Okay.
To try to make this even better. 19.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Not you'll be able to add a minor effect to this, but you whipped out that little specific piece of tool tech or whatever have you, like a basically I don't know what you call that, collapsible monocle.
Yeah, it just
type.
clipped on. It's just another lens.
Either way, it allows you to see a little closer. You can't see specific details of people's faces or what they might be holding or anything, but it definitely looks like a small. Excuse me, I shouldn't say small because of how far away you are. It's actually a massive group, of a nomadic caravan almost, but they're stationary. It looks like they've set up camp basically. There's people milling about the little huts and the carts or whatever have you. And after scanning the groups and their stuff or whatever have you, you start to see some symbology of the apocalyptic cult. You guys know that the apocalyptics are nomadic tribe or nomadic cult. They are really free spirited. They enjoy basically all things of life. Their life goal is to get hedonistic almost. They do a lot of drugs. They partake in carnal sin, whatever have you. They don't dislike anyone. They're pretty accepting of most people. You do know that to hang out with them, you really gotta hang out with them though, really partake of their customs and whatever have you. But other than that, they're pretty accepting of people.
While all this was going on, right? Vlad, as soon as he saw Deo just pull out and start scoping out, he stops his music and he sat down right next to him, and he has on his left shoulder he has a leather satchel. He pulled out what looks like a worn book, and then the front cover of the book says Moby Dick, but all the pages are worn and torn. He opens it up, rips a small piece, maybe about the size of 2 inches wide, and you see him pull out another satchel, what looks like some sort of dried leaves, and he crumbles them up, put them in, and then he puts it towards his lips and licks it, and he sits there. He goes, "What's that up what's that you see? Is there somewhere we gotta go?" As he's licking this and making himself a homemade cigarette.
I dig it.
And then he closes back up the book that has many of his pages of missing squares because he's been using this as a essentially rolling paper, and he puts it back in his satchel, and he pulls out a flint, right, with a little and he has like a thimble on his nail, and he scrapes the thimble to the flint, which creates a spark that allows him to light the cigarette.
I dig that a lot.
Vlad, you love that haunted hemp. Well, out across the distance there, I'm looking and I see, I believe it's the apocalyptics. Look like they're setting up a camp down there. So when we make our way, it might be a good place to hold up for the night. And, since you're the stone cold ladies, man, maybe you can partake of some of their fun. Keep us in good. What do you think?
Or at least, we'll have a place to rest our head. And if they are ladies, they're not known for their beauty. But we'll make do.
Not known for their beauty, but sure known for their hedonistic ways.
he takes like two pulls of the cigarette, and then he hands it off to Theo. And then he pulls out a water skin, and he takes a swig of that as he starts dusting himself off.
Dio takes a pull off and we go, "You always got the best haunted hemp. You should start, maybe selling it to some of the people in the clan, man." Hand your cigarette back.
The key is you got to smoke it in the classics.
But as you guys are proceeding, after having a little interaction, I'm assuming Dina already put away, or Dio put away his headgear as you're smoking and walking towards wherever you want to walk to. But as you guys are walking, and again for most of your journey, a lot of your surroundings, again, it's post-apocalyptic, very ruinous. So there's a lot of abandoned small cities. Like you see tall buildings in the skylines very far away on your east side, maybe. To the west, you see again far stretches of small crumbling buildings overtaken with vegetation. You can see wildlife, you can hear that stuff. They're rustling through maybe the trees or whatever nearby. There's still again a lot of buildings and facilities that have this bygone tech or whatever have you, but there's so much ruin and decay around as well. That again.
How long of a walk is it from here to? How did we gauge the distance of this small
to get to their community? Their caravan?
The first little ruin is that's probably maybe 30 minutes away from you, and then to walk all the way to that encampment would probably be the remainder of the day to get there. It'll be approaching nightfall or nighttime. Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I missed this, but when Theo was looking through the when he was doing his perception roll, did he give us more information on this ruling? What exactly was it's just what's it look like?
Wait, what did you ask about the ruin?
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't specifically looking at the ruin. The ruin, you already have the location of it, and it's close enough that you just look and see, and you don't have to even give me a perception roll. It looks like what I described earlier, where it's like a small building just with a lot of vines or moss or whatever on it. There's specifically a lot of blue-green moss, which is that's poisonous, the fungal type, that's bad. You see a small doorway, and it looks like it may have been some sort of hangar, what you call it, for planes or something maybe. And it looks like there might be a basement involved, but just at the top you just see that one big warehouse looking, like maybe a barn or something, like something of that nature. Like I don't know what to describe that kind of building as. Sorry.
So I point to Theo. I go, is that the stuff Phineas wanted us to collect? Pointing towards the moss, not knowing that it's the bad stuff.
No, we're not carrying. No, that's not it. That stuff right there, make your parts turn blue and hang too low. They'll get caught in your zipper all the time. You don't want none of that.
But yeah, you do know that again. It is pretty poisonous, or excuse me, I don't know what you call poisonous spores. If there's another word for that. So that these areas that even though they do generally contain high quality iodium or scrap to scavenge, there's a heavy spore presence just in the air alone. So just traversing the areas, even though there's a chance for riches, like to find stuff or whatever have you, you will have to resist inhaling the spores and being overtaken by it the longer you stay inside the general area.
Oh, so when Dio says that, I have the handkerchief around my neck. I lift it over my nose, as I'm walking behind him.
I dig it.
Yeah. So I figure it makes sense that we go down, hang out with the apocalyptics for the night, get a good night's rest, and hit the facility hard in the morning.
So you wanna because the way the map is situated, if you want to draw a pseudo picture, let's say you're updating it as your you made your perception roll or whatever, we'll say that far south is where you guys started. Then you guys went north 5 days or so. The mini ruin that Phineas suggested you look at just to get supplies for your journey is slightly to the west where you guys currently, again, it's you can see it from where you are. The apocalyptic camp is 8-hour walk from where you are, so again it's gonna be nightfall by the time you get there. And based on the size of the facility, you figure it might take about an hour or two to explore.
Okay.
And if you were to go to the apocalyptics and then come back, that would take a lot of time. And then the major spore source Phineas wanted you to look at is even further north of the apocalyptic camp, about 4 or 5 days, something like that.
So Phineas actually wants us to go in this place, then, right?
I mean, into the first place, it's suggested just so you can get supplies. That's your call.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll head there then first. Probably if we get time, we'll go check out the apocalyptics. But we're right here. We might as well check out this small area.
Wait a minute.
Phineas did say for sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Phineas did say for sure there would be some amount of high quality. He didn't know how much of it, but there would be some high quality iodium in there.
I would say, didn't you just say that this thing will turn my thing blue?
That's if you play with it. Don't play with it. That's all. Leave the stuff alone. Just follow my lead. That's what I do.
We could just keep on walking,
Yeah. You're gonna pass up the chance to get some high quality iodium? I mean, don't you want to put some enhancements into your gear?
I take a last pull of my cigarette that we've been smoking this whole time, and it burns to the point where it's singeing my lip. Then I spit it out. I guess not. I am kind of bare, and I pull up my thing as far up my nose as my handkerchief as far past my nose as I possibly can, and pull down my hat.
Yeah, I make sure my turban is right. Pull the wrap around, See, that's all you got to do.
I will say this: whoever you is more knowledgeable about spore stuff would know that a handkerchief is not going to do much for you.
I'm not knowledgeable at all.
I figured. I was just saying that for maybe Dio's benefit to you. But you do know that with some of the scrap you have on you, you could make a pretty makeshift gas mask that would help with fighting off these spores.
Oh,
It won't
so
be amazing.
can I
early
spend
game.
1 XP?
You know what I look
to
at?
do what? To just make a gas
Hold on.
mask?
Yeah,
Well,
because I
Oh,
would
yeah.
assume if Phineas sent us over here, he would have gave us equipment.
So he gave you basically blueprints for stuff like if you look on Roll20, this is not going to be good for the viewer, but if you look on Roll20 on the crafting and augmenting thing, all the way on the bottom of the list, there's like stuff you can make, and he basically gave you blueprints on how to make this stuff. He's like the supplies at home are very like scarce, so he really didn't give you a super ton like to go off of, but he did give you schematics to make your own stuff should you find.
Oh, because I got 0 crafting stuff whatsoever. Abilities.
We found the item, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'll make the roll.
All right, so to try to make a low quality one, it'll cost you 2 of your scrap, 2 kilograms, and it's just a difficulty 3 roll. And if you fail, you lose your scrap and whatever have you. But yeah, if you make it, you succeed, and yeah. In this situation, you just lose a scrap regardless whether you succeed or fail. On success, you make a low quality gas mask. And again, just difficulty 3. You can use effort like usual. It's an int task, crafting based. What'd you roll, Senior Dean?
All right, so let's do this.
And again, that'll cost you 2 of your scrap. I'll take rid of that now.
You know what? I'm going to attempt to what we got. I'm going to attempt to make the best quality I can. So I'm going to try that difficulty 5, but I'm going to spend.
You can't make high quality because you don't have high quality item.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
All right, so I'll roll for myself too. It's an intellect roll, right?
Yep. So you can both can try to craft a gas mask real fast.
I'm going to use effort on my roll.
Go for it.
I rolled a 9 on the dice, which is enough, but the level of effort that I spent made it.
So you can craft, you can like flavor it however you want, but basically you cobbled some of your spare pieces.
I failed my roll.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 3.
So you go to try to do it, and
I lose 2 of my.
You lose 2 of your scrap, and you're looking at Deo make his thing, but you're too focused on what he's doing and not what you're doing, and it like kind of falls apart in your head. You're like,
I look at you. I go, here. Let me give you a hand, buddy.
So you can try it again, and he can act as an asset if you want.
Yeah, all right. I'll try it again. I'm not going to use effort though. I just wait.
Yeah, he just acts as an asset anyway, trying to help you. Yeah.
Level 3, right?
Yes. Well, 2 now, but yes.
Okay, I got a 14.
Yeah, you got it. But now you're down to 3 low quality, and Dean is down to 7.
What I do, what you saw me do is you saw me take the folds of the scarf that I was wearing, and I kind of just stitched the pieces of iotum and filters into it, and now when I wrap it around, it fits perfectly. But it's still all a part of my wrap, and there's the mask, and so I kind of show you that.
I basically try to mimic. It looks like a lower quality version of Deo's, but it seems to be working, so I feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, so basically what it is, just an item, and as you wear it, it gives you an asset, or not an asset, it eases all, spore resistance rolls, so while you're like walking around spore infested places, it's a little bit easier to, not, they're not perfect, they're low quality, so, there's still a chance of some spore going through.
Man, this thing is uncomfortable to breathe it.
Adjust it up over your nose. It'll be more comfortable that way.
Yeah, so you guys start proceeding towards the first small ruin. As you approach, you see there's just a small, door, and again, it looks like a giant. I'm bad at describing buildings, but like a giant hangar or barn, like sort of like big warehouse type building that looks like it might be pretty big on the inside. You can't really tell what might be inside. There's no windows or anything, as there's a lot of moss and overgrow on it, like vines and whatever have you, trees nearby, whatever have you. The building is still in surprisingly good shape though. And as you approach it, You do see like something unusual. Just there's a lot more roaches here than there were anywhere else where you guys were walking around. Just skittering around outside, like in pretty big groups. They're not really paying you any mind. As you approach, they like scatter off if you come too close to them. But yeah, there's a lot of them.
How far is our vision look inside? Like how far in? A foot?
Oh, the door is closed.
Oh, the door's closed. Oh, okay.
It's just a big hangar type door. Maybe you gotta like pull it up like a shutter or something, or you gotta get closer to see. Do you guys proceed to the front exactly of the?
Yeah, if Deo didn't stop walking, I'm not stopping. I'm just behind him.
I'm gonna keep my head on a swivel. Of course, being perceptive of the area, making sure there's. Could I make like a? Should I make like an intellect roll just to see if there's, if the sign of roaches like that is that a sign of something?
Yeah. Roll for me. You can both roll for me for this. This is like a lore knowledge check or like a biology check or something. In that realm.
Yeah. I'm just gonna straight roll.
Yeah, me too. I got a 14.
I got a 5.
All right, so Vlad doesn't know anything. He doesn't know a damn thing. Deo, though, again, from your travels and from, speaking with Phineas and maybe other, not educated people of the clan, but, like, other, like, people of like yourselves who are part of these, like, venturing out parties, like the scouts or whatever have you, or I don't know what your clan has a name for people like you who go and take care of business outside, but you've heard stories from them that when there happens to be, like, a lot of roaches or whatever have you, that's a sign that, cockroach psychonauts might be nearby, which is, again, this is a special kind of fungus that it changes the host, like the humans or whatever have you who happen to be infested and get infested to the point of no return. And you don't know much about the cockroaches other than that, again, they'll fight to the death to protect, their homes or whatever have you, and they're pretty dirty.
How big are they?
Oh, they're people. They're humans. They're just,
I mean the roaches that we see.
They're like 6 inches, like gigantic, like
giant cockroaches.
Big, giant cockroaches. But the psychonauts are actual people who like take on like roach-like qualities from being around this certain spore. You don't know too many details about them, other than again that they're tenacious, and they'll fight until none of them are left.
Vlad.
Yeah, those damn roaches.
Wait, hey, we might have a problem.
When you say that, you see that I pull out my harmonica and start spinning it over my hand repeatedly.
Yeah.
Problem?
Yeah, psychonauts. Cockroach psychos.
Oh, that's not a good combination. I don't like psychos or cockroaches.
I know. Cock psychos are terrible, man.
I guess we
psychococks. That's what they call them. Psychococks. Yeah.
Oh, but anyways, as you approach the door after seeing the signs of this, the cockroaches, I'm not gonna repeat what you just said because I think it's funnier that way. But as you approach the door, you see again it's like a small hangar type door. There doesn't appear to be any locks or anything on it. It just looks like a small handle that you just have to like swing the shutter open.
Oh, the roaches on the door itself or just the ground?
There's also some on the walls. They're like all over the place. But again, if you go to touch them or anything, they don't like try to swarm you. They run away.
Oh, so I shoot them off with my foot.
Yeah, you can do that, no problem. You shoot them away.
I'm just kicking them up. And I look back and I go, we're doing this or what?
Yeah, gotta be ready.
So I swing open the gate.
All right, do you want a GMI, Anthony?
Yeah, why not?
All right, so earn an EXP, give 1 to Dean. I guess all GMIs in a game like this. But either way, you both get 1 EXP. So you both have 2 now.
Yeah.
You started with 1. But as you go to do that, right? At the top of the hangar, I don't know what you call the encasement or the housing that the door retracts into, but it was filled with roaches, and they start falling all on top of you.
I'm like, oh, what the
hell? So give me a might roll to see if you staved off like getting bitten by you're trying to or speed. I'll give you might or speed on this.
I'm specialized in careful movement. Would that work?
I'll allow it. Yeah, if you're trying to well, no, they're swarming you. No, I wouldn't allow this.
I have jumping as well.
Jumping, I'll allow. You're jumping, get out of me.
Because I would think I could jump back.
Oh yeah, no.
Falling.
No, they're falling on you. That's the GMI. Yeah. They're on you. That's the GMI. You are trying to now get them off of you.
All right, I got a 9 on the roll, and I'm trained.
All right, so yeah, you're able to jump back. A few landed on you though, but it was not enough to actually cause any damage or anything to you. You just you burst them off really quick. You jump back fast. Oh shit, what the fuck? And then you're fine. Yeah.
When the thing rolls open, what do I see directly in front of me?
So you see a wide open hangar. It's dimly lit. It looks like there's some barely functioning lights in there. You do see that it's mostly empty, and that the walls again are covered with this what you call it, this the spore and the moss or whatever have you. It's a blue greenish, with some hints of black to indicate that it's the cockroach, the special spore. So yeah, some of the spores on the wall are really dark or black or whatever have you. But on top of that, when you open it up and some of the sunlight, it's not fully sunset yet. It's maybe about to go down. Yeah. Some of the rays shine in there, and you can see just in the sunlight there's heavy particles of spore dust just floating around. So once you step in there, it's gonna be dangerous for you.
All right, I try to put my harmonica through the canvas of the mask, and I'm gonna blow out a long tune. A woo, to see what happens. If I see any movement from the sound of the music.
All right, go for it. You actually just do it.
Yeah.
How do you step in, or do you just do it from the doorway?
From the doorway, as loud as I can.
So you do that. Nothing seems to happen.
All right, so as we're walking in,
before we do that, before we walk in, I'm gonna go. You know what? I don't know if we should just run up in there, all that spore dust. I'm gonna swing. Let's swing the doors all the way open. Let some air start blowing through here. And as a matter of fact, maybe if there's a back door, we can get a cross draft.
If you look around, there's no back door for sure. Okay. Opening the hatch will empty out the spores from the first room that you enter, but it's not really going to do anything about further in.
Well.
So I checked to see, how a rolling gate door, I guess I might have to step in actually, but there's usually a chain, to hold the rolling gate up.
Yeah. What about it?
Yeah, I want to hold the door up, take the chain and wrap it so it doesn't come back down.
Once it's fully up, there's some mechanism in place that just holds it up. I'm just going based off my experience on the shutter doors at work. The chain, once it's all the way up, it won't go down unless you actively pull it down. Unless you're trying to lock it and make sure for sure, tying a knot or something with the chain.
Because usually I work on a ship and we have a ton of those chains. Usually you have to tie it around some sort of the chain gets tied around to hold it in place.
So
it just depends. Some of them are like that, and then some are like what Al's saying, they lock in place.
So it'll stay in place, but if you wanted to keep it in place so that no third party could come later and be ha ha ha, you would have to make a makeshift lock maybe, which you can definitely attempt if you wanted to. But at this point, it can be lowered and raised at will, and if you raise it, it'll stay up.
Yeah, I don't think we would be thinking about that any further. Yeah.
That's how they work.
I might.
But yeah, no, you step in just a little bit. I'll even give you that. As you step in, once Deo said, "Hey, wait a second," you let some of that spore out. You can kind of see it filtering through the sunlight as as it passes you by, and you start to step in a little bit. Now the first room that you're in, now that you're in it, you see just a big empty room with a door at the end that looks like it leads into another back room. And from the outside, it didn't really look like those two rooms or like another hallway or whatever have you. Just there just might be a back room for the hangar. But again, as you start to breach the entryway, you see what you described, Anthony. You see the chain. You see that it's fully up and that it's not going to be lowered unless someone comes and lowers it. And as you glance around the room, you see that now the air is a little bit more fresh, but again, the floor is even covered in this moss. Like there's a few like consoles, like like computers or whatever have you. Like maybe a couple against the wall, not many. It looks like this may have been some kind of research facility or like maybe a warehouse or something. Maybe that was like HR's computer or something. Like you can't really discern what exactly it is. But you don't really see anything you can really scavenge for high quality stuff here. It just looks like you're run-of-the-mill type tech.
So don't need to make a salvage roll?
No, there's nothing here really. You guys already took your one normal salvage for the day, so you're already stocked on normal stuff for the day. And again, there might be some high quality stuff further in, but as in this room, no.
Okay.
And if you go further in, you do see there's a doorway at the end. And it's not closed or anything. You just really can't see what's on the other side until you like poke your head through or something. Because again, it's pretty dimly lit. You can still see pretty well around you. It's not dim to the point where it's fucking up like how far you can see or dark or anything. But to see specifics, you definitely would have to get closer.
There's no windows in any of this.
Nope, it's just all like barely functioning like electrical light bulbs or something of that nature. You can possibly assume there's a small generator somewhere deeper below that's keeping it powered, or maybe like a power line nearby that's keeping it powered but just barely.
So what I'm picturing, so essentially this is just like the entrance walkway into the bigger, if you described it as a warehouse, right? It's the warehouse to me would be a open space. This is more like
a lobby.
Like some sort of lobby into the warehouse, right? Correct?
I mean, yes and no. The way you can, it works either way, honestly, if you want to flavor whichever way. But the way I would just picture it was, this is just a large derelict section of a warehouse. Like there may have been like a small lobby, like where there's crumbled wall bits around too. So like maybe there was a partition at some point that had a lobby that separated it from the main part of like the warehouse or whatever this place may have been in the past. You have no idea, like no way of knowing what the previous function of this facility was. But for sure that wall at the back is still intact as well as that doorway. And you can assume back there may be a storeroom or possible you don't know what. Again, it's just another sectioned off part of the building.
Okay.
I mean, so the only place we could go is that door, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the only way to go. So you guys head that way. If you peek through, or do you want to peek through before you just walk all the way through, you see the same sort of thing. It's a much smaller section of the same sort of like tall, empty sort of space with crumbled ruins around you and mossy, overgrown, whatever. But as you get a little closer, or to the doorway or past the doorway, it starts to smell a little more, I guess, humid, if that's the word for like where moss or whatever thrives. Like it sort of feels even a little more, the air feels a little more damp. So as you're entering this room wasn't able to be ventilated by opening the shutter, so there's still a pretty dense not spore cloud, but just lingering particles in the air. So starting now and periodically you'll be making spore resistance checks. So both of you, if you're both stepping into the next area of the next room, give me that spore / resistance roll.
That's a might roll, right?
Might, yes. Or intellect. I'd allow intellect as well, because the spore does attack the mind. And on top of that, your masks ease it one step. Then
that means I would have resisted a level 5.
You for sure don't get anything happen to you?
I got a roll.
Yep.
I got a 12.
Yeah, you both are fine.
So that's a level 5 too for you.
As you guys are proceeding in, you do feel like the air feels more thick, like almost like it's almost feels slimy with the humidity. You don't smell as much of not the decay but of the mold, because the gas masks are working. You do catch hints and whiffs of it every now and then. It's not pleasant. But the gas masks are working as intended right now, and you have not been infected or anything. There's been no adverse effects to stepping in, into the spore fields. But as you guys are proceeding, can you both give me, and again, this room is very similar to the other room, except that, again, it's a much smaller section, maybe about a fifth or sixth of the size. But at the other end of the hallway, or excuse me, the other end of the building, you do see a large staircase going downwards into what looks like a basement. But as y'all are approaching it, can you both give me perception rolls?
I have an inability in perception.
Yeah, I'm trained in it, so.
I got a 17 with an inability.
Alright, you for sure spot it. But let's see what this guy gets.
I got a 15 trained.
Oh yeah, so you both for sure spot it. I'll let you guys flavor it how you want, who spots it first or whatever have you. But as you're proceeding towards the staircase, there was this like really large, flat, but low to the ground mushroom. Not flat, but like maybe like kind of thick, but to the point where you may not have seen it in all the overgrown like foresty, not foresty, but overgrowth and moss or whatever have you. This is an actual like spore cap. Should you had stepped on it, it would have released a cloud or something, but you guys found it in time. You guys can try to jump over it. It's like basically taking up the entire, like, it's like a whole bunch of them almost. Like a bunch of little, like...
Is there any way that we could, either contain it or scavenge it?
You can do both. You can try to scavenge it, which is pretty dangerous, or you can just try to clear the way, not trying to get anything out of it, which is another course to take.
Which one would be safer?
Safer would definitely be just trying to move it aside or something like that.
All right, so let's try to scavenge it.
It's up to y'all. It's up to y'all.
Well, I'm trained in salvaging and scavenging, and I'm a survivor. So
all right, so in this,
could my specialization in careful movement help him out?
Yes, for sure. Wait. So you're letting Dean do it just entirely by himself?
Yeah, because he's trained.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so, what you call it? So this is gonna work in the same way as if you were like trying to like clear the way as well. But on top of that, you might find something to use, or you might.
So I go in my bag and I'll be like, see if we could pull out this, and I pull out one of those tins of the old Christmas butter cookies, and I hand it to him. Go, do you think we could put it in this? And it's like dingy and all scraped up.
I look at you and go, don't worry about it. And I pull out the responsive synth,
okay,
since I had quantity of 2, and it's basically fashioned into like this crazy bag of holding.
Okay.
I said, this will work better.
Oh, good. I paid a lot of iodine for this, and I put it back in my bag.
And the way I envision it now is that I kind of got it sectioned so I can put, things won't, affect each other.
I get exactly. I have a dice bag that's like that. Like inside the bag itself, it's sectioned off, so like I can keep sets separate. So exactly. I get exactly what you mean. You definitely whipped out your responsive cloth. You folded it and melded it in such a way that there's large sections inside for different things.
Right. All right, here we go. You know what?
You get an asset for my careful movement.
I got an asset for you. I'm going to expend a level of effort.
Okay.
Trained in salvage.
Okay.
And can I say my survivor skills is also an asset on this?
I'll allow that, yes.
All right, so that's 4, makes it 4 better.
4? Wait, 4 better is the effort, Anthony, yourself, and what's the 4th?
Survivor.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I got a natural 20.
Okay, so you can describe how you masterfully... Oh, shit, I just realized we didn't give the minor effect for the 19 earlier.
Don't worry about it.
Either way, you masterfully scrape and just like whatever your way through like the little fungus patch that's on the floor in such that way that you make a walkable path to the staircase. You're also able to scavenge up one mushroom cap. It's something that in this world, in the setting or whatever, is described as like a burn cusp. It's essentially what you call it, something like that's like a fat little air filled mushroom cap that you like poke a hole in and kind of like inhale the spores. It'll have a positive effect, but it does infect you just a little bit to use it. Okay. And the one you find, I'll figure that out. But what do you want with your natural 20 while I get the one that you find out? If you want, you can use the natural 20 to find a higher quality spore cipher.
I'll do that. Yeah, why not?
All right. So, you find... I'm going to give you a interesting one. You find Discordia. You examine it, and you picked it up, and it's this weird sort of shimmering, iridescent color. It's a big, like, fat mushroom cap. And, once you pierce it, you'll be able to use its effects. But let me post for you the effects. I'll also describe the effects out loud for y'all. But this is what it does. I posted it in Roll20. Essentially, you'll get a stat assigned to you at random when you use it. Then you'll have to beat an intellect roll. If you beat the intellect roll, you get 3 permanent stat points in the chosen stat. If you fail, you lose 3 permanent points. It only lasts for 24 hours. You cannot use another Discordia while you're already under the effects of one. Super interesting, high quality spore you found. High quality spores, when you eat them or to use them, you gain 2 spore infestation.
Okay.
Should you decide to use it or give it to Anthony to use, or Vlad, you suffer 2 spore infestation to use it.
When you use it, okay.
Yeah, then you use it.
All right, so I look at wow, this is worth something. Could even be useful while we're out here.
And you wait. Sorry.
I put my hand on Deo's shoulder and I go, and Phineas doesn't have to know, right?
Hey, right about now, if this becomes useful while we're out here doing what we're doing, we're gonna use it. Now, as far as all the rest of the salvage stuff, I got the bag to put the stuff in. That's what we're here for, to find supplies. But this particular situation, hey, it's good stuff right there.
And so you do still have your major effect. And on top of that, just because what you said reminded me of something, you do know, because you know the apocalyptics are, at the forefront of what you're going to be doing later, or that, you might possibly be interacting with them. Finding the mushroom cuffs reminds you that they place a lot of value in these things, because they basically thrive on, like, there's like drugs to them. Like, they'll just take it just to take it, like that. They're viva la vida loca, so to speak.
And I'll say that to you, too. Yeah, and we could probably trade this for a bunch of shit with the apocalyptics.
And, sounds like a plan.
And what do you want with your major effect?
The major effect, if possible, I'd like to basically make sure that when we come back through, if we have to come out quickly, that we have a clear path where we won't set the spore off, but if somebody's following us, they'll get busted in the face with the spores. Like a trap, like trap it.
I'll allow it. All right, so what's going to happen here is with the natural 20, you found a high quality spore because of the high roll, and then the additional effect is what you described. You set it up in such a way that it's not just a straight path. It might have patches here and there, but they're not patches that are like so hard for you that you might have to jump and roll to go over it. They're like little steps here and there, and especially Vlad being graceful, it'd be easy enough just you knowing it's there. You can like quickly do it without much effort. Like, it would basically be a clear path for you because you know the step holds.
Yeah.
But and for someone who doesn't know it's there, they might see a step hold and then step the wrong place and blah blah blah.
There we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Works for us.
That works. And yeah, you guys get to the other side. You know, once you make those little step holes as Dio described, and you get to a staircase that leads downwards. And if you traverse down the stairs, can you, or excuse me, as you traverse down the stairs, should you decide to go down, can y'all give me like stealth rolls? You are muted, Anthony.
I said stealth. Do we hear anything to make us want to be stealthy? Like, why would we want to be stealthy?
It's more of a perception roll. My bad. I labeled that incorrectly. But it's more to see if you see something before getting all the way to the bottom of the stairs. Not that you're necessarily trying to be quiet. I misphrased that. My apologies.
I have an inability in perception. I rolled a 1.
And what did you roll, Dean?
A 1.
You both rolled 1s?
Yeah.
Yes.
Get out of here. So you both trip and fall down the stairs. All tumble, all blah, 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 blah. As you're falling, you can't be extra careful about where you're stepping or anything. So you both pop off a couple of mushroom caps to just blow up in your face. You both gain 1 spore infestation, and you both also take 2 bite damage from tumbling down the stairs so hard.
You said 2, right?
Yeah, 2. If you have armor, it's just 1. I think you both have 1 armor.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as you fall down the stairs, you find yourself, you know, after you compose yourself and, you know, you're trying to get up to your feet.
Hey, nobody saw that.
And as you say that, you look up. After you both say that, you look up and you see 3 cockroaches. Just these wild-looking people. Their hair is all long and dreadlocky. They're wearing, like, tattered leather, like loincloths almost. They're all holding a dagger. And they say to you, we saw that. And all roll for initiative.
Psycho cocks. Shit.
And you know, as soon as you say that, one retorts just loudly, roaches! And they unsheath their, like, you know, their little dagger.
You said initiative?
Yeah, initiative now. You would have had a chance to surprise them, but...
I got a 6.
So Al, my character, his staff looks like that.
I can barely see it in the overlay because of the
background. Oh, no, it's what you see.
Okay.
That's how big it is until he spins it and it comes out to a full staff.
Okay, gotcha. So you hop to your feet, like, you're quick enough after, like, they want almost to be, like, comically, like, mock you after you fall down and talking all that shit, like, oh, nobody saw that, whatever. So, like, they don't jump on you immediately, like, to surprise round you. They say that, and then, like, you have a chance to, like, hop up while they're, like, mocking you. So, yeah, you get your, like, staff ready. Anthony, you can get ready however you choose. You roll a 6, so you won't be going first at all.
All right. I'm specialized.
Yeah, I got a 6.
I'm specialized in initiative, so
yeah.
I rolled 9, so that would be 3, 4, 5. That'd be a level 5.
Oh yeah, so it'll be Dean or Dio, then the cockroaches, then Anthony or Vlad.
Yep.
So yeah, these guys have their knives out. On close inspection, again, there's 3 of them. They look like they're ready to defend their homes. They're all brandishing some sort of small dagger. It looks like the daggers are like a blue-black, sort of like the same color of the cockroach spores that you see all around you.
I have a quick... what size is this room and any other passages leading out of the space that we were in?
All right, roll me a perception roll.
I got a 1.
So you don't see fucking anything.
Back-to-back 1.
You have, like, when you stand up, like, or as you're on the way up trying to get a bearings of your surrounding, you just come, like, face to crotch with someone, like, as you're trying to, like, get your bearings, or, like, their body's completely blocking your vision. And, you know, if you take a step back, you do know that there is that staircase leading back up, behind you, I should say. But as far as ahead of you, no. You can't see anything. You can't get a judge of anything. But you do see that the room is not nearly as wide as upstairs. This is more like a small, like, more like an actual lobby. It's not. It's like maybe, 20 feet wide, maybe, like 20 feet tall, like not a huge. I'm bad at dimensions, so don't quote me on those numbers, but it's a reasonably sized room where 5 individuals could comfortably stand around and fight each other. Yeah, so for your natural 1, Anthony, the thing I forgot, as you're stepping back and, again, trying to get, your bearings or whatever have you, you actually step in place and slip a little bit and drop your harmonica, like, lace and all, and now you just have your bare hands, and at the start of the fight, you're going to have to, take an action to pick it up or, like, dust it off or whatever have you to get it ready.
Yeah, that's fine.
But, yeah, you'll essentially be starting combat doing that. Or, fighting with your hands, did you choose.
I'm doing something else anyway.
But yeah, what are you doing, Dean? Or Dio?
I am going to the first guy. Like I said, I pulled my weapon, and it extended out, a couple of foot or so on either end, so it's a full size, 5-foot staff. But the first guy that's standing right there in front of me, I'm going to use my reality spike Cypher and slam it right into his foot.
All right. So, I'll definitely allow it, but you have to roll like an attack to put it on his foot before he. Yeah. So roll for it. I'll definitely allow that 100%. What's the level of the Cypher again?
6.
Oh boy, that's fun for this guy.
16.
Oh yeah, you for sure place it. What does it look like when you do that? Like this person, as you get closer, to the group of them, you do see they don't look like the most what you call it. They don't look the most sturdy, if that makes sense. Like they don't look super healthy like people. But when you get close, you definitely are quick enough to plop this thing down on his foot. But yeah, what does that look like?
Okay, so reality spike. It's about a foot long. It looks like a foot long spike, like a bar, and literally, and it's got a little depression on the side. And when you activate it, of course, when you activate it in its spot, it can't be moved unless you make a level 6 strength check to move it. So literally, you just see me, I spin the stick and drop down, smash. So the stick was a distraction, and it just smashed him in his foot. You pook, and I step back from it.
You definitely do that, and you see he looks visibly they're not speaking. They're like, whoa, like they make guttural noises. And you see he's trying to fuss with it now, bends down, he's fussing with it. He can't reach y'all at this point. He's just, if he tries to do something, unless he takes that off, he won't really be able to do anything. Right. But then it goes over to them, and he's just fussing with it. He can't get it off. He tries to hit it, and he's not really strong enough to do anything to it. Yeah. Then it moves on to the other two, and they're basically individually approaching you each. So can you both give me speed defense rolls to, or might, however you choose, to get out of the way or block the attack or whatever have you.
I'm specialized in speed defense.
And I'm trained in speed defense.
Yep. And I got a 19.
Oh, yeah, you definitely dodged out the way.
I got a 13, so that would be 16.
Oh, yeah, so you both dodged out the way, no problem. Again, you see these, really dirty looking... Oh, well, I guess abhumans would be the Numenera term for it. So let's go with abhumans, just to sort of mix the Degenesis and the the psychonaut abhuman. They look so dirty. Their hair's all knotted. Their clothes are rags basically. And as they get closer to stab you again, you see their daggers are almost dripping with this spore, but they don't. You both swiftly dodge out of the way. And now Vlad. Your model are dirty with spores right now.
I was gonna do something, but now, all right. Since I'm assuming he lunged at me with this dripping dagger. Yes. So I stepped to the side, and like you said, my back was to the steps.
Yes.
I want to grab his wrist and his elbow and slam him into the steps in one motion. Since I got a 19, right? I gracefully stepped to the side, grabbed his wrist and elbow, and using his same momentum, hopefully it'll give me extra damage to slam him into the steps.
I'll 100% allow that for your natural 19. You said damage specifically. I'd also allow you to knock his dagger out of his head. You can choose.
No, I'm trying to crush his face into.
Oh yeah, you do that
and I'm apply a level of effort to damage.
Well, wait, are you using the natural 19? Because what I was going to do is give you the 19 where you just do it on dodging him, and then you get to attack him or whatever. But if you want to kind of try to combine them, like to slam him and then slam him with extra force as your attack, is that kind of what you're aiming for?
Yeah.
So you'll automatically do 3 damage from the 19. You're going to slam him no matter what. Now the roll with your attack is to see how much more you hurt him with it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes. So I don't need to add the effort to.
Well, because you're still
effort is going to do more damage.
Yeah, because you're still rolling to attack him right now, essentially.
Yes.
So yeah, you can still use effort for damage. Yes.
All right. I got a 14 on the roll.
Yeah. So it hits and he dies. How does he die?
All right. I step to the side and where I lack in knowledge of spores and stuff, I make up for my fighting prowess. So when he lunged at me, I immediately saw my back was against the steps. I took one step to the side, grabbed his wrist and shoulder, and slammed his face into the steps itself. Right?
So his mouth just went across one of the steps.
Right. And then I scream out, "Where's my harmonica?" And because I haven't moved yet.
Yeah, we can say what your movement is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm running to my harmonica.
Well, harmonica's still basically at your feet. We'll say with your movement, you pick it up and dust it off safely.
Yep. Okay.
And now it's usable again.
All right. So I have edge and might, so I took 2 for my pool for the effort.
Thank you for that. I was just going to mention, guys, I'm not keeping track of your stats. Please do that accurately, please. And, so, Dean, it is back to your turn. You just saw Vlad completely obliterate this one cockroach. The one that has the block on it, he's panicking. He's like, oh. And then you see the other one, it's still, he's, ready to kill you still. He's going to... Okay. On top of this, right, after the first one dies, right, you see after it dies, there's a big puff of black spore. Not it doesn't really affect you guys because you're wearing the gas mask. So you're kind of avoiding spores at the moment. But the other 2 guys who are alive, they take deep breaths of it, and you can kind of see their eyes start widening. They're their muscles look a little more bulgier, and they look a little more threatening now.
Okay, so the guy that I sidestepped, I'm just going to do a similar thing, but the only thing I'm going to spin with my staff and come to spin around and hit him in the back of the head.
The one that's attacking or the one that's stationary?
No, the one that attacked.
Okay.
The one that, so I'm just going to spin past him and, I think I'll expend a level of effort as well into damage. And here we go. Oh, that's a 5. You know what? I'm going to give an XP reroll.
Yeah, for sure. So, and we'll see what you roll, and I'll describe what I think you're describing.
Natural 20.
Okay, so that's much better. So it's definitely going to work. Did you want to use a major effect or extra damage?
Let's just give it all damage. So that would be 4, 7, 10. That would be 10 points of damage.
He's dead. So
11 actually.
The way I flavor this though, or excuse me, how you described it to me, or how I visualized it, is you're spinning your staff basically to get around them. So now they're between you and Anthony. After you killed it, you basically decapitate him as you do it, and now it's just the one guy in between y'all trapped. Basically, is that what you were going for?
Basically, exactly.
Yeah. So you do that. You can describe how he dies, but the guy you strike dies.
Basically, I cracked his neck. I hit him right at the third vertebrae. You heard a snapping sound.
Yeah.
And so now Anthony should be on one side of the guy that with his foot on the ground, and I'm on the other side of him. They're we got choices and options.
Yeah. So, but what happens though? Again, just like the first time, When the cockroach dies, there's another black spore, and the remaining cockroach, the one that's trapped, he takes a deep inhale, and on his turn, he actually smashes and breaks the device that's holding him there, and he stands up, and his daggers. His action was to do that, so now it's Anthony's turn, but yeah, he's free.
Oh, if it's my turn, I'm what you call it. I'm gonna. Oh man. I'm gonna. You see, my harmonica spins out, and I grab the harmonica, and I pull the end, and you see there's a long wire. And I'm going to just loop it over, and since I'm right behind them, I'm just going to choke them out with the wire.
We could definitely say that.
Yeah.
So, roll for it?
I got a 15 on the roll.
Yeah, so you start choking him. Oh, he's trying to break free of it, but you're currently, he's in a bad position right now. He took 4 damage. You think it's a medium, right? Or is it? Or I would say this is a medium anyway because of what you're doing to him.
We could say that because I'm assuming that this is it's not like a string, it's like a
garrote. It's like a garrote,
like a thick garrote, like a what is it, like a piano wire almost?
Yeah, so it would tear into flesh.
Yeah,
so I would definitely say it's 4 points.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. So yeah, you start. He's you see him bleeding a little bit, and it's not like red blood; it's actually black. And I should have described that when the other guys died, that their blood is black. And yeah, it's like you have him in place right now. It's gonna be Dean's turn, and on his turn he can attempt to break free, but right now he's stuck there.
So since Anthony has him like that, could I say have an asset to hit him this time?
For sure, but I will say you don't even have to roll to hit him. Even you're just gonna kill him. But
I want to roll just in case I get a 20.
You can definitely do that. But I want to say this though. You do know from your knowledge of psychonauts and just their not cockroaches, just all psychonauts, they fight to the death. They're no longer humans. They can't speak to you or tell you really anything. Just throwing it out there.
So since Anthony's got him, like this, I'm just gonna spin and come with a downward strike right across the center of his skull.
Yeah, you for sure do that. What were we gonna say, Anthony? Though.
I'm choking him out, but I have my knee on his back. You know what I mean?
Y'all are just brutal on these ambulances.
So yeah, we're gonna work well together.
Yeah, but I think this is like mutations.
No, they're monsters basically. You wouldn't have sympathy.
I got a 15.
I mean, the only sympathy you would have potentially is that they used to be human, but there's no coming back from what they are.
Yeah.
And what'd you roll?
A 15.
Oh, yeah, no natural effect, but you kill him. He's dead. You smash his head. I have reflavor, but he drops dead. And yeah, how do you want to flavor it, or is he just dead?
So yeah, no, literally, just basically you see, Vlad has his knee in his back, and he's, pulling back on the thing, and like I said, the guy's head is probably got his hands up, he's probably got it like this. So you just see me come right down with a downward strike. And as that downward strike, it hits him right in the center of the forehead. You just see it, plop! And you see his nose break and everything, and probably just the life just drain out of it.
Yep, you see that black blood again dripping down his face as his skull cracks. You drop, you feel the what is it, Vlad? You feel the the tension as his body falls limp in your garrote. You can let him go, I guess, after you feel that. He slumps to the floor.
It's almost like like one of those. What you call it, measuring tapes?
Oh yeah, retracts back into your head.
Yeah, it just immediately retracts back, and then I play
like taps or whatever.
Yeah, as he's falling down to the ground.
yeah. So he dies. What you call it? Now that you guys have settled all this, there's been enough time that you guys have still been within this facility. Can you both give me spore resistance rolls real quick, just to see if your gas masks are still working properly, or your
I got a 2.
Yeah, you take a point of spore.
I got a 12, and then you said it makes it easier, so it would be a 15.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you guys it's difficulty 3 to stay within the spore cloud. So Anthony definitely failed.
I did
You
not
definitely
get it.
But this gives me an opportunity to discuss just in briefly because you guys know the rules. To heal your spore infections, your infestation. It's a healing task, a manual healing task from Cypher system where it's like, number of points you're trying to heal is a difficulty, blah blah blah. If you try it again, it's harder to do it, blah blah blah. So that's how you would recover your spore infestation, as well as maybe ciphers you might find, or maybe an NPC later or whatever. But that's how you would do it at the moment, should you want to try to take care of some of your points. It only will really start affecting you at 5, so right now it's not really too much of you. As a Spitchilian, though, you might feel obligated to get rid of it as soon as you can. I'm not going to play your character for you, but that would be the mindset of a Spitchilian cult member.
I need a recovery roll anyway, because I've used a couple of my points.
Gotcha. Recovery rolls just work normally. You can do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't have nothing to do with spore infestation.
I know, but can I do that now?
Yes, you can definitely take your. Well, do you want to take an action or a 10-minute to regroup, or because we don't have to do it in order? I don't like to do that.
I'm doing the. I guess we'll take the 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Instead of the action. I have a choice, and I rolled a 6 on the roll.
Gotcha.
But I'm only missing 6 points, so
yeah, just recover it.
Yeah.
Dean, what were you doing in those 10 minutes?
You
guys could have been looking around.
That's basically what I'm doing. I'm, because I'm in my element now. This is what I do.
Yes.
I'm a salvager. So I'm looking, to see if there's anything that's going to be useful for the clan.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. After digging around the cockroaches, the people, I mean, not the actual cockroaches, you don't really find anything useful on them other than their daggers, which you're free to take. They're coated in, looks like the spore of the walls or whatever.
That's nasty.
But roll me a d20 really quick. This
20.
would be like your dice are loaded, bro. So after looking around, you do see that there's a small, against the wall, like a small computer that actually looks like it's mostly intact, and that you can probably scavenge some high quality material off of it. You can't tell about how much you could potentially get from it. Doesn't look like a big deposit, so to speak. Looks rather small. But that is what you find while looking around a room. But what did you want with your major effect?
Maybe on that display, it tells us that there's something about what's deeper in the facility.
Yeah, for sure. So, if you look at the display before, basically destroying it for parts, you see that there is a small, map or blueprint of the facility or something like that. It's not very big. There's only basically, if you look around the room right now, there's just one other doorway at the end of the hallway. On the schematic or the blueprint that you're looking at, that room looks like it was just used to house, whatever high quality technology this facility used to do whatever its previous operation was. And it looks like a very long hallway, and at the end of the hallway, it looks like where the majority of that equipment would have been. Not a hallway, but something much like a long ass room, like big room.
Yeah.
But it's mostly long, not wide.
I look up. Hey.
And that's what's just beyond the door there.
Vlad, we may have hit the mother lode over there. This might be a good place. You feeling better yet?
How much stuff do you think we could get out of this place?
Well, it depends on what's left. I mean, the biggest thing is that what this schematic is showing is that this is where they kept all their stuff. There's a supply area, I guess. So if there's anything of quality left, it'll be there.
Was there anything on the roach guys' bodies?
Just those freaking daggers with all that ichor on it. I don't want that stuff around me. You want it, it's on you.
You say as you're smashing or however I don't know how you take about the computer, but while you're scavenging, can you give me a just an intellect roll to see how if you successfully work the node and get something off of it?
Uh, 12.
Yep, that works. Now roll me a d6, and that's how many kilograms of high quality iodium you find.
4.
So you have 4 kilograms of high quality iodium now. And yeah, again, if you look around the room, that's really the only thing of note worthwhile in there. And now you know that beyond the door there is just that long, room where at the end of it there's, a possibly rich deposit of high iodium.
Man, freaking psycho cops! I can't stand those things. Yeah, I never saw you do that before. I like that. Strangle them, huh?
Yeah. My mama always told me to be wary of the sick cocks.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, but if you guys proceed, you go through the doorway, and again, you find yourself in this really big, long room. And, at the other end of the room, just like Deo had seen in the schematics, it looks like there's a really big, I don't know how we want to flavor this, but just a lot of, large machinery that looks very high, high tech, high quality. You can't really discern what the purpose of it was in the previous, by the bygones, but you can definitely tell there's a lot to be taken from it. However, can you both give me perception rolls?
Yep. And Al, check the chat real quick.
Discord or Roll20?
Either one.
I don't see anything on Roll20. And yes, we can definitely do that. I was actually going to suggest the same thing. Also,
I got a 9.
I got a 10.
So you got a 10. What did you get?
9.
Yeah, so you both see,
I have an inability of perception, by the way.
Wait, so you rolled a 10?
Yeah, I really got a 7, if you count my inability.
Well, and I'm trained, so I actually have a 12.
So he doesn't see it. He doesn't notice this before. I mean, it's up to you, Dio, if you want to stop him before he proceeds. But as he's proceeding, as you look ahead, you do notice that the air is much, much thicker between where you guys are and where the equipment is. And even within the equipment, it's pretty densely spory, like the air.
Hold on for a second.
And you stop him. And
yeah.
Did you say something else? It looked like you were moving.
I was acting like I was stopping.
I stop him and I look around. These old places used to have like vents and stuff, manual vents that you could open. Do I see anything like that? Can I take a look and see if I see any of those levers where I could, where you pull a thing and they open the shutters?
You can definitely give me a roll for that.
All right, I'm going to expend a level of... Hold on, let me...
And I will say that it might be really hard for you to find something like that, given that you've never seen a facility like this. You can make an assumption that something like that does exist in a facility like this, just based on prior knowledge of things and how, current machination works.
Right.
But, yeah, you can definitely attempt it. Might not be the easiest thing in the world, though. So use your effort, and, yeah. Roll out. Or do you have, knowledge skills? I forget what you're skilled at.
I have salvage. I'm a tool aficionado. I have...
all right, so you're understanding and crafting Numenera with definitely... Oh, no, that's an inability. That makes it hard.
No, I don't have crafting Numenera. I have an inability in crafting. But I'm also prepared. So it's basically like I'm the type of guy that plans ahead of time. So my prepared, my salvaging, that's why I didn't even bring that one up. Perception. So it's up to you.
All right, I'll allow you to use what you call it, tool aficionado. Not that you're using a tool, but it'll make you knowledgeable on what could be a tool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could recognize it, and perception as well.
All right. Come on, dice. I rolled an 18.
Yeah, so you do find nearby, before you even have to walk into the densest part of those spore clouds, that there's a small little what looks like an access panel that you crack open, and in there is like a bunch of buttons and levers, but in in hindsight, for the bygone people, they made things really easy. There's just a little photo, like like one of those like textless, like if you see like against like most machinery nowadays, like describes what it does with just pictures.
Yep.
So like you see like there's like a little lever up and the vent picture's closed, and like there's a little picture of the lever down, and there's like the vents open. So
Oh, I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
that.
you do that. There's vents nearby. They cracked open. Like a lot of that spore cloud like evaporates, leaves the room.
I'll give it a few minutes, as a matter of fact, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my 10-minute roll. Just give it a chance to dissipate. I'm gonna make my 10-minute recovery roll because I'm down on intellect points now.
Gotcha. You could definitely do that. So you do that, but at the same time, like again, it will take about 10 minutes for the stuff to dissipate. But while that's happening, Anthony and both you and Anthony and Dean, roll me a spore resistance roll. Just again, you've been lingering around the general area. There's not the big spore cloud, but just the general ambient.
I got a 12 on my roll.
You're safe.
I got a 9 on my roll.
You are also safe. So yeah, you guys wait for the thing to clear. You do a recovery roll, and now you have access to the end of the hallway there to do some scavenging for high quality iodium. Can you both roll
5
me
minutes.
a? You want to do the break now, or do the scavenging then the break?
I'd rather break right now.
All right, we'll do break. When we come back from break, we'll do the scavenging rolls, and then we'll proceed with the story. Listeners, we'll be right back after a short break. We'll be right back. See ya. From us at the see you, we'll see you in a little bit. Oh God! All right, be right back.
I'm sorry.